This is Celestial Horizons, Shattered Sleep, an interactive podcast where you can influence how the story develops. Currently, each episode of this podcast is followed by thoughtful, nuanced discussion by audience members like yourself. Those discussions go on to influence the actions that the characters of the podcast will take. You can be a part of this discussion by joining us on our Discord server. A link to it can be found on our website at www.celestialhorizons.io. We'd love to see you there. And really, the quality of the comments we receive from the audience is absolutely remarkable.
Security systems offline. Cameras 213 Alpha through 213 Golf are non-responsive. Alert! Ballistic projectile weapons have been accessed outside of authorized usage from Security Substation 4. Possible internal security breach in progress.
The year is now 2373, and you have been cryogenically frozen and shunted over 1,200 light-years away by means of a one-way trip through a wormhole. The mission? To establish a colony at the edge of known space. But after traversing the wormhole, your ship, the Ark Lyravea, suffered massive damage from being pummeled by debris from the edge of Kepler-62. The engineering team has been working tirelessly to repair the vessel and address the concerns that have popped up in the meantime. Their actions will determine who, if anyone, survives the journey, and will set the stage for the future of the colony and the generations of people that will live there. Previously, driven by the tension of the situation and friction with the Ark's leadership, a small group of engineers have armed themselves and taken up a defensive position in the communications room. They demand that the captain resign, or else they will not continue with repairs to the vessel. But the captain has responded in kind, denying their request and ordering them to get back to work. While the two sides double down on their positions and tensions rise, the principal engineering leadership desperately call for a de-escalation and some sensible interactions. Meanwhile, the rest of the operational crew, roughly 180 people, watch on in uncertainty, hoping to see the conflict burn out before the entire vessel gets dragged into it.
Login successful. Due to the overwhelming influx of messages, I have prioritized messages from key leadership positions and those most immediately involved in the developing internal security threat. First message: a forwarded communication from Acting Chief of Engineering Hollis Saberhagen, containing herself and Anthony Worthing, Second Deputy Chief of Engineering.
Hey, boss.
Worthing, thanks for finally answering. What the rike are you doing?
Well, we're just trying to have a conversation that won't end in us getting walked all over like we have been.
So hostages and firearms is your best idea?
Well, they're not hostages.
Then what the hell are they?
They're,
Worthing, you've got to get this to stop. Let the comms team go, put down your weapons, and give back the cryo juice. The captain isn't screwing around here, and if they think your people may be a threat, they're going to...
Wait. We don't have the cryo juice.
Don't lie to me. I'm trying to help you. We know one of your people shut down the cameras.
They only started thinking that way because they were worried that the captain would do exactly what they did. Take the cryo juice as leverage and hold it over our heads.
So you took it first?
I have no idea where it's at right now, okay? And these guys are serious about wanting things run differently around here, where people aren't treated like cattle.
Worthing, understand that in the eyes of the captain and mission control, this has never been a democracy. That's why they're reacting so strongly. Each crew member signed up for this knowing that there were potential risks to safety, knowing that their lives may not turn out as they'd expected. We have mission orders, a chain of command, and the GNA charter that tells us how all of this needs to be run and how all of these decisions need to be made. So when people suddenly decided that wasn't
You don't get it, Chief. Yeah, there was a charter and structure and everything, but they didn't consider any of this stuff when they wrote it. It doesn't talk at all about choosing who gets fluid or who to wake up when you can't put them back to sleep. Those of us here in comms, it's our lives on the chopping block. If there's a merit-based system for getting doses, then do you really think that any of the cable rats have an ice cube's chance in Venus to get on that list? And not one of them chose to wake up in the first place. They were forced into this, just like you were. But unlike you, they don't have a chance. Somebody else is telling them to sacrifice their lives for all the rest of this, and you know what? Most of us are okay with that. Most of us are willing to have a smaller chance of getting to live. Many of us have already put our names down on the volunteer list for staying awake. We just want somebody in charge who respects the Rytting fact that they volunteered us to die and doesn't try to hide things from us. That even if we have to die, we'll get a say in how things go. Aren't our lives worth at least that much? I mean, the captain doesn't even listen to you. Do you really think they'll ever listen to us nobodies? That's why we're doing all of this. Because none of you see any of us like anything more than resources or kids to be handled. We are people. Just like you.
All right. Look, Rytting, I'm trying to make sure that this all gets peaceably resolved, which got a lot harder when both sides armed themselves. You and your friends are in a dangerous pissing contest with the captain, and even if you're right, one wrong move and I'll be left cleaning blood off of the bulkheads. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I gathered.
Do you want that?
No.
So no matter what, you've got to be the sane one in there. Help me mediate. Help me calm everyone down and find a way to de-escalate. I'm working on the captain. I'm trying to get them to be willing to talk, to listen to your concerns.
And you'll get them to actually listen to you?
You know I'm doing whatever I can.
We trust you, Chief. Everybody else out there is looking to you and the other engineering heads. Help them see we're not just a bunch of crybabies, that we're actually trying to do the right thing here, not just for ourselves, but for all of the engineers who were getting screwed over on this ship.
Believe me, I'll try to help everybody see the other side, okay? You work on your friends in there. I'll work on the people out here.
End of message. Next message. Acting Captain Zachary Aoman. The following is a ship-wide broadcast.
Attention all crew. First, the following individuals have been added to the security teams and as such have the full authority of vessel command. Failure to comply with their orders will result in insubordination charges and immediate brigging. Melendez, Archibald, Duval, Ikonov, Amaya. Second, I declare a state of maritime emergency, temporarily revoking certain rights, including habeas corpus and the rights protecting against the seizure of personal property. Finally, I invite the spokespeople of the mutinous faction to a neutral location to talk in person about their concerns. The location is Junction 2 Alpha, about 50 meters from their outermost barricade. Up to 2 individuals may enter the junction unarmed, and all others are to remain in the corridor beyond the junction. I will abide by the same rules. I trust that you know how to access the camera systems, so you can verify that I will be true to my word. This meeting will occur in 30 minutes' time.
End of broadcast. Next message. Acting Chief of Engineering, Hollis Saberhagen. Alert Condition 1. All hands, please be at your emergency response stations and stand by for instructions.
Okay, I am on my way to accompany the captain to the meeting. We're meeting on the lift on the way to the communications deck. I'm gonna leave my headset recording, so we have a detailed record of how this goes down. Wish me luck. Captain, sir.
Chief? Did you get through to any of them?
Yes, sir. Anthony Worthing, my second deputy chief.
The one who gave them access to his comms, yes. And the conversation?
They're morally and ideologically committed, sir. They want to feel heard, which this meeting should help address. Sir, if I may ask, How do you plan on negotiating with them?
By offering them leniency as a reward for compliance.
And of their demands?
We don't negotiate with people who take hostages.
Sir,
Chief, I will be perfectly transparent with you about my goals for this meeting. First, it will be to send a message to the 179 individuals who have not yet gotten involved. During this meeting, I expect you to be recording and broadcasting the conversation to the rest of the crew. They need to understand that this will be a ship of order. Secondly, it is to give these mutineers a chance to avoid the brig and to remedy their attitude problems. We need them not only to do their jobs, but also to do them without taking their feelings out on our equipment or other personnel. You come as a representative of the teams you command. You are to speak when I indicate, explaining to them the damage this temper tantrum is causing to the repair efforts of the ship and to the lives of the people we are trying to save. Third, it is to remove their leverage. We will be securing the release of our communications team, and we will be ascertaining where they've put the cryofluids.
They claimed that they didn't have the cryofluid, sir.
They're lying. Trying to put the blame on someone else to draw others to their cause. These ideological revolutions live and die based on how the public responds, so they'll do anything they can to gain their sympathies, even at the cost of the mission. Is this all clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Are you recording?
Yes, sir.
Good. Chief, won't you introduce us?
Yes, sir. This is Anthony Worthing and Anatolio Elwood. Worthing, Elwood, you both know me. And this is Captain Zachary Aoman.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello. Won't you shake my hand, Captain?
I have heard the demands outlined in your manifesto. Namely, that I resign, that you get to vote on the next captain, and that you get a say in how the cryojuice is distributed. Is that all?
Yes. We have a right to manage our own lives, a right which has not been respected thus far.
Very well. Before these discussions continue, I demand that you release the hostages.
We don't have any hostages.
The communications team?
They're not hostages.
So they want to be in there with you.
Well, if you would just
they're
let-
free to leave whenever they want.
I mean, they aren't
mean,
going
If they're not hostages and they don't want to be there, then by all accounts, let them go free. Or if they do want to stay, then get Dr. Charbonneau on the line and have him confirm that for me himself. Surely you can both understand that neither of us can afford to let anything happen to them.
We'll let them go. Worthing?
I'll make the call. Yes, tell the comms team that they are good to go. Yes. Yes, you heard me right.
That is one set of hostages,
Yes.
now for the other two. First, the Sculpin antifreeze protein solution.
We don't have it.
Bullshit.
How dare you accuse
We
me and my
spotted one
men?
of your people stashing some sort of electronic jamming device outside the room. Then the cameras went down. So where is it?
I have nothing else to say on this matter until you address some of our demands. Will you step down?
Will I step down? No, I will not. I'm the highest-ranking individual with command experience left alive after the initial impacts. Other individuals of comparable rank were deemed more essential for the well-being of the colony, so they are to remain frozen. Instead, here is what I offer you. Your band of mutineers can avoid having charges of kidnapping, mutiny, sabotage, and conspiracy brought against them, and may return to their posts. If convicted by a jury, which anybody who is tried most certainly will be, then not only could those charges amount to life in prison, but they could lose any benefits they would receive from the GNA for their participation in this mission. The only two people who will face these charges are you two, Elwood and Worthing, for the key roles you have taken in this endeavor.
None of us would take that deal.
Do you really speak for everybody locked up back there? Are they not allowed to make their own decisions?
Don't think we didn't know what we were getting into. I had hopes, but your response has been sadly predictable.
You knew what you were doing when you agreed to be on this mission. These are only the natural consequences of your actions. I am being merciful in allowing most of you to avoid those consequences.
People who have to explain their mercy are trying to convince themselves. First, you tell us that you won't address any of our concerns, and now you resort to leveling threats of that caliber at us? This is exactly why we're standing up to a tyrant like you. You don't even think of us as people, do you?
You forfeited the right to such optics the moment you took weapons and hostages. Did you forget the mission? The 100,000 people we're trying to save? Why not direct your heroic energies there, like the rest of the crew, instead of this self-gratifying performance of yours? Right now, the greatest danger to the mission is your band of wannabe revolutionaries.
We didn't have a choice in trying to save them. You decided that for us. We're not heroes, we're slaves. You just throw our lives at the problems until they go away and call it heroics to make us feel good about the fact that we got picked to die.
Are you so arrogant to think that you got picked for this? No. People died, and a computer pulled you from a list because you were qualified to fill the roles that needed filling. Just as it did for the chief here, just as it did for me. All of us are here because of chance. We, the unlucky ones. Are you really getting this upset about something none of us can control?
You're missing the point. We're not upset that luck or fate or chance or whatever put us here. We're upset that you keep giving fate the go-ahead to put somebody else in our shoes. We're upset that even though we're in the same boat, as you describe it, you're not treating us like we're equals. Hell, like we're people at all. You have repeatedly withheld important and critical information from rank-and-file crew members. You've treated us like enemies. And you expect us to meekly accept the fact—
I treated you like professionals and expected you to do your jobs and to follow orders. I disclosed all necessary information to the various department heads, followed their expert opinions—
The professional thing to do would have been to admit that you didn't have answers and not try to hide the truth in case the common crew members got upset. You turned a mission problem into a personal problem. Made it about those who know against those who don't.
This isn't about how much you like your commanding officer, or distinguishing between the personal value.
If it's not about distinguishing between personal value, why is your name not on the volunteer list for passing on the cryo juice?
It is. Oh, it is. Right at the top. Take a look.
Worthing?
Yeah, it's there.
I assumed you wouldn't.
As I said before, I'm the least essential of the commander-ranked individuals on this mission. The computers chose me because I could do the job and because the colony could go on without me. That's what this is all about. The colony, and the 100,000 people we are taking to it. Your conceited sense of self-determination is putting all of them at risk.
No. It's your tyrannical sense of authority.
I'm not sure this
Do any of you really want to try and build a colony, a new home, on this authoritarian mentality? One that allows itself to be dictated by an algorithm in a computer
Alright,
somewhere?
you know what, people, please, we can't afford this. Captain, we need their help with repairs and for the colony and Elwood. We know you don't want anybody else woken up. We get it, okay?
Is there some sort of middle ground?
We're here to work out solutions for who knows what problems, and you're all deciding to blow this into an issue where there doesn't need to be one. For what? To stroke your ego? To, I don't know, please some inner sense of ideological purity? This isn't a philosophy classroom, it's real life, with real lives on the line. And if you two can't see that, if this is just some kind of abstract thought experiment to you, then yes, we need a new captain, and we need you to be brigged. Because this isn't a Rytting game, or a Rytting rhetorical question.
We have it. The cryo juice. We'll give it back if we get some sort of say in how it gets used.
That's non-negotiable. It goes to those who the colony needs the most.
But it's not yours. And you don't know what the colony needs the most because—
I'm sure it needs the likes of you.
It belongs to all of us. Every engineer who is going to take a shift awake during this journey has equal claim to what's left. So we all deserve a vote in how it gets distributed.
We could get a resupply!
4.5% chance. With our luck so far,
It's something.
we need assurances that everybody's voice will be heard on the matter.
For the good of the mission, I can't allow vital decisions to be made by committee. The experts will retain their authority to dictate what is best. Just look at how we wiped up Earth by ignoring experts in the name of personal interests.
Then it appears we're at an impasse.
My offer to the rest of your mutineers stands. They have 1 hour to decide. You're dismissed.
I take my leave of my own accord. Won't you shake my hand? Huh.
Have you stopped recording?
Yes.
2 things. 1, what you said was out of line. 2, find out exactly who leaked the cryojuice information. Team Alpha, Team Bravo, do you copy? Over.
We read you. Over.
Confirmation that the communications team has been released? Over.
Affirmative. Over.
Set a timer for 60 minutes. When it goes off, both teams have authorization to advance and secure the communications room. Weapons free.
Copy that.
If you're still listening, that went poorly. I'm getting messages from some of our team leaders. Some are asking if they can try to message Elwood's people directly, convince them to give up and come out. Here's another asking for my blessing to go down to the engine core and do what these people are doing to put pressure on the captain. They're coming in for both sides. I mean, some of them are declaring what they're about to do. Others are asking for advice. Oh no, here's Stuart saying, "It really sucks for the captain that the only people awake on the ship are the ones who know how to take everything apart." That's just great. It's clear that of the entire crew who was listening that we've got sympathizers on both sides, willing to back up Elwood's group or put pressure on them to comply. If I don't come forth with some clear side to back, then in an hour's time this could spiral into a full-blown civil war, dragging all of us into it. We need to give these people on the fence some direction, to tell them either to not cause more problems for the ship in the name of the new resistance, or to tell them absolutely not to tell the people in communications to bail out. We've got to pick a side here. We've got to pick a damn side to let our teams pressure this into stopping it before it gets violent. And we don't have long before people take action into their own hands. What do we do? As the ones the people in the middle are all looking to, what do we tell our teams to do? Please, just talk to me here.
Notice from the Department of Human Resources. A new feedback box will be installed in the mess hall. It is designed as a safe space for those who may wish to voice concerns anonymously. The box will be available starting the next meal rotation.
Damn.
End of message. There are no remaining Priority 1 messages, and 243 remaining non-Priority 1 messages. For your information, the captain's timer will go off in approximately 57 minutes, and counting. Good luck, and Godspeed.
Thank you for listening to the 5th chapter of Celestial Horizons: Shattered Sleep. To be a part of the engineering team discussion, please join our Discord server. The link can be found at www.celestialhorizons.io. There, under the ArkNet channel, you'll be able to comment on the communications in this episode and react to other people's comments. The most popular and well-thought-out comments will influence these characters and their decisions. Now that negotiations between the two sides have broken down, what should the engineering team leads do to guide the rest of the crew over this next hour? Is there anything they can do to end this conflict before it turns violent? Thanks again for listening. For the latest Celestial Horizons news and content releases, please visit our website at www.celestialhorizons.io. This episode features performances by Buckley, Orion Howard, Olivia Ockey, Chris Rollins, and Erik Rytting. This episode was written by Nathan Young and Riley Jess, produced and edited by Nathan Young, with music by Marcus Richardson. Good luck, and Godspeed.